Okay, so this is my setup for assignment 2. First thing is to connect the Arduino to MATLAB, so let's run the program. And you can see it connects to COM port 3. The next thing is to test the digital input and outputs and the analog inputs. So to test the digital input output, we'll test it by making an LED blink. So here's my LED, and as you can see here, the computer, or the Uno R3, is reading the inputs, and if I press this button, it should start LED blinking for about 10 seconds or so. This right button will be used to stop the readings, and you can see the light went off. Next is to test the analog inputs by testing potentiometer readings. So I'll click that, and you should see it's reading different values of potentiometers, and it should range from 0 to 5, or 4.995 is close enough. And while the Arduino is reading the potentiometers, the LED should stay on through the digital output on pin D7, and if I press this third button, everything should stop. So now let's move on to the inverse kinematics demonstration. So we'll use the ASOP arm, which is convenient because it can move in all three directions, X, Y, and Z. So I have different radio buttons X, Y, Z for which direction the end effector will move. And the two buttons over here on the left, I'll use the left button, I've programmed for positive steps, and the right button is programmed for negative steps. So as I click the left button on my Arduino, the end effector moves in a positive X direction, and the right button makes it move in a negative X direction. And by clicking Y radio button, the left button on Arduino makes it move in the Y direction, positive, and the right button on Arduino makes it move in the negative Y direction. And when I turn the Z radio button on, the end effector should move positively when pressing the left push button on Arduino, and negatively by pushing the right button on the Arduino. And pressing this button should reset the GUI and make the reading stop. And we're back to the beginning. The second part of this assignment was to load DICOM images. So I have a load DICOM, which will prompt me to open up a directory, and in this directory I have 22 DICOM images. So when I select this folder, it should load the image corresponding to the potentiometer, which I have calibrated. And since the potentiometer is being read, the LED is on. And as I turn the knob for this potentiometer, I should be able to scroll through the DICOM stacks. And stack 22 corresponds to 5 volts, and stack number 1 corresponds to 0 volts. Now I have 3 image processing functions that we have done. So the first one is contouring. So if I press contour, then it should grab this image and create a contour of it. So that's the first function that I've used. Second function is image profiling. So if I click this, I should be able to select 2 points, and across those 2 points, when pressing enter on a keyboard, should create an image profile of the intensity values along that line. So that's the graph that outputs when I press enter. The third function is contrast adjustment. Now I can also do this with other images, not just the first one. So if I go to image 9, for example, and press contrast adjustment, it'll adjust that contrast. And if I go to a different one, I can adjust the contrast accordingly. And pressing the stop button, the very right push button on my Arduino, we'll stop all the readings and we'll be back to the beginning. And that is my project for assignment 2. Thanks for watching.